this computer. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday after maybe everybody's first full social distancing weekend. Hopefully, everyone has been doing that. I've got some great people here. I think right now everyone prefers to be a spectator. So if anyone joins us moving forward and they want to tap, that's great. But otherwise, it's important to remember that you can benefit from tapping. Even if you're just watching, you tap along with me. Turn your, if you like the other people who are on here right now, turn your video off. You can turn your sound off and tap along with me as I'm tapping, and you get benefits even if I'm not tapping directly one-on-one with you. It's really cool, called borrowed benefits. So, so we are going to do that. I was just closing down the chat there. Couple things to talk about. First off, with tapping, if anyone has been watching these videos, I spoke with someone yesterday who said that she turned the video on and it just made her more anxious. So a few things to think about with that. First off, often what will happen is you'll start tapping on one emotion and then something else will come up. So it's important to note, if I'm tapping on anxiety and you're like starting to feel anxiety, or you're feeling some anxiety, but then all of a sudden anger comes out or frustration comes out, you want to shift gears and start tapping on that emotion. Second, the things that I'm saying may not resonate with you. So if they're not, respond to what I'm saying, like the call and response, respond to what I'm saying with what does resonate with you instead of something that doesn't sit right with you. And also remember to give yourself a little bit of a break, because there's a lot of strong emotions going on here, and one-on-one is really the most beneficial way to do this, but you can get really great benefits just watching and tapping along. So make sure you are actually tapping along with me at all the different points and talking out loud. Just watching it or just hearing it isn't going to help. You actually need to tap on the points and talk out loud if you can. If you're watching this by yourself afterwards, that's totally fine. So if you have an experience watching the recording and you want to reach out to me, please do so. info@jillwener.com, JILLWENER. If you have any questions that you want me to answer or emotions that you want me to address on a later thing, and then I can tag you in my post so that you'll know. And remember, all these are going to be posted on my YouTube channel after this. So I guess I'll just tap right now, because right now everyone is preferring to watch in the sidelines, which I completely respect. What I'm going to do right now is tap on some emotions that I've been feeling, because I need to tap on them. And this will give you a good instruction on how to tap on your own, because just like the meditation I teach, where I teach people to be self-sufficient meditators, tapping is also something that you can do quite easily on your own without needing somebody else to do it with you. You don't have to get like a college degree in tapping in order to do it. So today will be maybe a little bit of an instruction on how to do it on your own. You want to get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, whatever, something to write with. And you want to, first off, emotionally, just check in with yourself. What emotion am I feeling the strongest right now? What do I want to work on? And then you're going to rate how strong that emotion is from 0 to 10, 10 being the strongest, 0 being as low as possible. And then you're going to try to identify, if possible, where do you feel that emotion in your body? Now, some people aren't able to do this right off the bat, and that's fine. Where are you feeling it in your body? So I am going to tap right now. When I walked in my house, I feel better now because I worked out. But when I walked into my house, I was with my boyfriend all weekend, which was lovely. I came home to my house and I just felt overwhelmingly sad and lonely and almost afraid. I don't know what I'm afraid of, but I was just having this sense of just I don't want to be here. It doesn't feel good to be here. So I'm going to just close my eyes for a second and figure out where I feel that. I feel it in my face and down my arms. I feel a lot of stuff on my arms for some reason. So that's just where I feel it. And I will say it is a sadness, because that's been kind of taking over me quite a bit recently. And we've talked in these sessions before about, am I feeling my own sadness or am I feeling other people's sadness? A lot of us are, and probably most of us are taking on some of the emotions of the people that we're around as well. And not even that we're physically around, because we're not around people anymore, but the global sense of fear and anxiety. So I'm feeling this kind of sadness and loneliness. I would say right now it's probably a 6. when I walked home, it was like, when I got into my door, it was a 10, and I was like, I don't want to be here. So it's important to remember that even if you're feeling things, like I'm the tapping person, I'm helping people with their feelings, but I'm still feeling them myself. So don't feel mad at yourself for feeling human right now, even for silly things. So I'm going to tap on that, and we'll kind of see where it goes. And then you always want to start with a setup statement. So even though I feel fill in the blank, I love and accept myself completely. So I'm going to do the statements. I'll still do them call and response. So for anyone who's watching now or who's watching later, can feel free to do them with me. If you're feeling any sadness and loneliness, check in with that. What is making you feel sad and lonely? And I'm going to start tapping. Even though I feel, and I've never done this before, tap on my own self on a video. So it's a little vulnerable, but maybe it'll be interesting and helpful for people watching. Even though I feel some sadness and loneliness when I walked back into my house today, I love and accept myself. Even though I felt some sadness and loneliness coming back to my house, just feeling really, really alone, I accept and forgive myself exactly as I am in this moment. Even though I feel sad and lonely being back at my house by myself and just a little vulnerable and isolated, I love and accept myself completely. Now we're going to go to the top of the head. I'm sad. I feel really sad and lonely. I don't know if it's my sadness or if I'm feeling collective sadness. But I walked in my door and it almost hit me in the face. So much sadness and loneliness. It's like I can feel everyone's fear and isolation right now. So much sadness. I feel sad and isolated. I'm sad that I'm back at my house by myself now. My boyfriend and I generally like to take some space from each other intentionally, but I just feel like I don't want to do that right now. I feel sad and I feel like I want to share space with anybody that I can right now. And it feels weird to be completely alone again. All this sadness, feeling lonely and isolated. I just feel everyone's sadness that we aren't able to commune together as a society the way we like to. All right, I'm going to pause. So I'm going to take a deep breath. I encourage you to do it with me. Now check in with yourself. I'm checking in with myself. Again, it's a little weird to be doing this on camera. I feel a little lighter. I think maybe it's a 4. I did work out. I had a Zoom training session with my trainer when I walked in the door, and like at 10 this morning. So I worked out with her and I felt a lot better after that. So that overwhelming sense wasn't as bad even after that. So now that I'm feeling like my blood got flowing, I feel a little better. And I'm starting to realize that and this is when you have these pauses in between, you ask what other thoughts or emotions came up and check in with yourself, any aha moments or realizations or memories. And I'm just starting to realize that I'm lucky to be able to have this time to come be by myself. A lot of people are stuck in houses with people that they may not love completely, with people that they might be afraid of. with children that they're having to homeschool, that they're not used to homeschooling, maybe, and maybe they're consumed with fear right now. So I feel like I have a little bit of freedom. You know, I have my house and I have my boyfriend's house that I can go back and forth, and that's something that I'm feeling a lot of gratitude for right now. So I'm feeling a lot less sad and isolated, and a lot more grateful that I have this freedom, because a lot of us are feeling this like acute lack of freedom, I think. So maybe I'm down to like a 3 now. So I feel ready to tap in some, maybe I'm even at a 2. I'm ready to tap in some positivity. So I'm going to do that. So after you clear it out to like a 0, 1, or a 2, that's when it's okay to start tapping in positive. So I'm going to do that now. So anyone there with me, if you are feeling not ready to do that, you can rewind the video, or just kind of, if you're watching live with me, go for it. Feel free to leave some comments in the comment section, or put your voice on right now. If Carol or Christina, if you have any comments about this, what you're feeling right now, and I'm going to tap in some positive. I am by myself in my house right now, but I'm feeling really grateful that I was able to have a session with my trainer first thing on Monday morning on Zoom. And I'm grateful that I was able to connect with her even though we weren't together in the same room. Let's see what Christina's saying here. Yeah, hard here. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people, it's like hard to be with your family right now. So I am feeling right now grateful that I got to exercise. I'm grateful that I have space to exercise in my room, in my house. I'm grateful that I have freedom, some relative freedom right now. I'm grateful I have somebody to hunker down with, which for a long time in my life I didn't. So for those of you who are feeling really lonely and don't have a partner or someone to be with right now, I feel you. And I'm grateful that I have some personal space and that I'm able to get my work done, and I have a choice that I can make. I'm really, really grateful right now. I know there's a lot of people out there in this world that are feeling a lot of pain right now. And I'm grateful that I've been able to kind of voyeuristically or anti-voyeuristically tap through my emotions here on camera, and hopefully help anybody who's watching. And I'm feeling this sadness and loneliness leaving my body. And I feel this sense of peace overcoming me. So much lighter. I feel a sense of relief. And I feel a sense of gratitude. All right, deep breath. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I feel like I could like maybe keep tapping a tiny bit, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. For anybody who's not yet feeling good, just keep tapping through the negative part that I did at the beginning. You don't want to really tap in the positive until you're down at a 3 or below. And just remember gratitude. I've already listed the things that I'm grateful for, but gratitude is a really important practice. And so everyone just pause right now and think of 2 things that you're grateful for. And you could be grateful for warm water and electricity and the internet. You know, it doesn't have to be major things, but gratitude, getting into a regular gratitude practice is enormously helpful. Something else that I am particularly annoyed about right now is I have, and this is first world problem stuff, so I get it, but some people may be feeling similar stuff. I moved into my house early October, and the stove doesn't work. Half of it works. So I have 4 little burners, and 2 of them don't work, and the 2 that work are like right next to each other. So it's really hard for me to cook. The one of the 2 that does work gets too hot. So it's really hard for me to cook anything at a low temperature. And I've been asking them to fix it for months and months and months and months. No response. My landlord is some sort of, I don't know what she is, but I'm trying not to hate her. But she doesn't respond to them. They're not responding to me. I've been asking and asking and asking. Finally, someone came out like 6 weeks ago, maybe, and looked at it, diagnosed it, said what needed to be done, and still no one has come. And then they were like, no one's telling me this, but I think they were deciding, are they going to replace the stove completely or try to repair what was there? Finally, they've asked me like a week ago when I'd be available for them to come out and fix it. And I gave them my dates, and now they're telling me no one can come out. Obviously, it's social distancing. I don't really want anyone in my house to come fix it, but it's annoying because it's been now almost 6 months and I haven't had a stove that's properly working, and they could have taken care of this 5 months ago when I moved in. So I'm feeling frustrated and powerless. So if anyone listening is feeling frustrated and powerless about silly stuff like this in their life, or even bigger stuff, this might be a good time to tap through some of that, because we're human and we're allowed to feel everything that we're feeling. We're allowed to feel, and we don't need to shove it under the rug just because we feel like we shouldn't be having any negative emotions. So I'm going to try to go through that right now. It's not specifically coronavirus related, but because now, like, oh, oops, sorry, we can't come to your house. Now it's sort of like this whole thing where I'm the idiot, or I'm the a-hole who's like, wanting people to come and fix my stove. But anyway, so I am feeling pretty upset about it, because this is something I've been upset about, carrying like a torch for this feeling of anger and frustration, keeping it alive for 5 months. So I would say I'm probably like an 8 out of 10. And I would call it frustration and powerlessness. Is really frustration at feeling so powerless. So I'm going to tap on that. And where do I feel that in my body? I feel it here in my chest, and maybe a little in my throat, but here in my chest. All right. So tap along with me, anyone watching, for something that you're feeling frustrated and powerless about. You don't have to repeat the words after me exactly. Think of something in your own mind that is making you feel frustrated and powerless. And you can repeat words after me too. As long as you keep in your mind what is making you feel frustrated and powerless, it should work. So let's go for it. Even though I feel frustrated at how powerless I am about getting my stove fixed, I love and accept myself. Okay, great. So we have a comment here that I'm feeling like this as well. I was supposed to take an exam that I've been studying for months, and now I'm going to run out of time due to the virus. Exactly. And I know a lot of my colleagues are recertifying for their internal medicine board exams, and now the test is canceled. So yeah, like, okay, well, what do I do with all that time that I spent studying? Great. So whatever it is that you're feeling this frustration and powerlessness over, even though I'm feeling frustrated at how powerless I am over my stove not being repaired, I accept and forgive myself exactly as I am in this moment. Even though I am feeling powerless and frustrated because I've been trying to get this thing, I'm trying to not use profanity, I've been trying to get this thing repaired for 5 months and no one has listened to me, and now it's all shut down because of coronavirus. You don't have to repeat that after me, just repeat whatever else you're frustrated about. I love and accept myself completely. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that I'm paying a lot of rent for a house that has a management company, and this managed company is not doing their job. And somehow I'm still expected to pay my rent every month. And I'm frustrated that no one has responded to my emails. And I'm frustrated that now, because of coronavirus, all bets are off and no one's coming to do any repairs. all this frustration. And if you notice, I just sighed. Sighing, yawning, tears, those are all a sign that things are, as an involuntary sigh, those are all a sign that energy is moving through. I'm so frustrated. I'm frustrated that I've been trying to get this fixed for 5 months, and now it's all come to a halt. And now they can blame it on coronavirus rather than their own inability to get anything done. I'm frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I feel like there's nothing I can do about this situation. Oh, that sucks about your mom. I'm so sorry. I'm just getting a comment here. Everything's coming to a halt. Yeah. Everything's coming to a halt, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm frustrated that I've spent 5 months trying to get this done. And now all I have to do is just sit here and wait. All this frustration. I'm feeling so powerless. I am so annoyed. I just want to scream. But they're not listening. All this frustration. There is nothing I can do about it right now. And I'm a doer. I like to take charge and get things done. Where have they been the last 5 months? All this frustration. All right, I'm going to pause, deep breath, breathe along with me. All right, I'm closing my eyes so I can pretend that I'm not on the camera. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling like a 5 or a 6 instead of an 8. I think that's where I started, was an 8. Feeling a little silly. I'm feeling a little bit like I've got 2 burners that work. Like, big effing deal. Get over it. I am doing what I can to follow through with my commitments, and I can't control everybody else. And that's a lesson that I've continuously had to learn my whole life. I don't think I ever tried, like, until I got on the spiritual path, until I started meditating and becoming a meditation teacher. I don't think I was ever really like paying all that much attention to surrender and control. So I think I'm just realizing this is just something else I'm going to have to surrender control over, because all I'm doing is carrying this toxic energy around with me, and they don't care, obviously. My landlord certainly doesn't seem to care. And I'm going to do whatever I can, which is this morning I emailed them. I said, I understand. I wish this had been taken care of for the last 5 months. I don't understand why it was not. And I would like a break in my rent, a credit on my rent. So we'll see what they say. I've asked for it. That's all I can do. I can't stop paying my rent. I have electricity and, a roof. So it's livable here. So I'm feeling a little bit like, all right, girl, like let's get rid of this anger and this frustration, because it's not particularly serving me. But if I just told myself to stop being angry about this or frustrated about this, I can't tell my frustrated nervous system to stop. I have to process it in a way that changes the way. That's what's happening with tapping. It's changing the way the brain is connecting with my stress center of my brain. So, all right. So I'm feeling like a 4 or a 5. So I'm going to keep tapping on this frustration, but I'm starting to have some clarity and some aha moments. So I am frustrated still. I'm frustrated that I've sent probably 10 emails about this in the last 5 months. I've done everything I can on my end. And now, because of coronavirus and social distancing, it's not going to get fixed for God knows how long. I'm frustrated and I feel powerless. And I feel powerless that I'm doing everything I can to be a responsible person. And I pay my rent on time, but I'm still not having a stove that works correctly. And every time I cook, I get annoyed. I'm laughing because that's my own damn fault. I don't have to get annoyed every time I cook. And I'm getting resentful and even more frustrated when I cook. And all that's doing is adding to my negativity. That's not making me feel any better. But sometimes it does make me feel better because I just want to spite them. All this frustration and feeling powerless, which makes me want to scream. So much frustration. All right, deep breath. I'm yawning, which is good. So, what came up for me, I always want to pause and reset. What came up for me as I was tapping through that sequence is that I'm feeling frustrated and powerless right now about the people out there who, couple things, I'm feeling frustrated and powerless, but the things, first off, that there's not enough protective equipment and tests out there. But that's not what's like really getting my goat right now. What is really annoying me is the people who are not social distancing right now. Who are not taking it seriously, who are not listening. I went for a walk yesterday at a park around my boyfriend's house. It's a really, really big, beautiful park. And there's people there just like, I saw some people sitting apart, but they're passing food around and they're all sticking their hands into the same food. And there's this sense that like, I'm young, I'm um, immune, I'm untouchable. And that's not going to help the situation. And a lot of a lot of the themes of these tapping sessions over last week have been about healthcare related stuff. And so I'm feeling like I want my healthcare people who are still out there taking care of people to be taken care of, or to be able to take care of themselves and protect themselves. And we can't do this if people aren't staying home and listening to this. Obviously, go out for walks. This is not social hour. That being said, I also know that not everybody is safe at home, and not everybody has the ability to do that. But if that's the case, and you're out like partying at Piedmont Park, that to me still feels like you're probably pretty privileged and you're probably okay to stay at home and just take walks around your neighborhood. So I think that's where a lot of my frustration and powerlessness is, and that sort of playing itself out in this issue with my fridge. So I'm just going to check in how I feel about that. But I feel even better about that because that's like, now that I'm tapping and having that realization, I feel less frustrated. So I would say that's probably like a 4. And it's more focused on the people rather than my landlord, I believe, at this point. So I'm going to tap on the people. I'm going to do a new one. Even though it's still frustration and powerlessness, I'm going to do a new tapping sequence because it's changed its focus. So even though I am feeling frustrated and powerless that at the inconsistent response to this pandemic, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling frustrated at the inconsistent response to this pandemic from a governmental to an individual level, I accept and forgive myself exactly as I am in this moment. Even though I am feeling frustrated and powerless that people don't seem to be listening. I love and accept myself completely. Top of the head, I am frustrated and I feel powerless because I can't convince people to stay inside or to socially distance themselves. No one's going to listen to a screaming lunatic in the park who's scolding them. And no one's going to, people who are in denial right now aren't going to respond to anger. So I feel powerless because all that I want to do right now is scream. I want to convince people to do what generally seems to be what is right for our society right now. And they're just not listening. I sighed. You saw it. So I'm frustrated. I can't control all the people. This is what used to frustrate me when I was practicing medicine too. I wanted to control all the outcomes. And I spent so much wasted energy getting upset about things I had no control over. And I feel the same way right now. I don't have control over any of those people. And I feel myself tensing up because of that. I feel myself forcing it and resisting what's really happening. But what's resisting what's happening in the moment. All this frustration. I feel powerless. I want to impose my will on people. Why aren't they listening? I'm frustrated that people think that they know better. But maybe I don't know better. I'm following the guidelines just the best way that I can. And even though I don't agree with it, they're doing the best that they can. All this frustration. All right, I'm going to pause, deep breath. So lots of times memories will come up as you're tapping, memories, images, insights, aha moments, new emotions. And what came up for me was the medical stuff, as I was saying as I was tapping, just this feeling that I used to get before I was a meditator, when I was just like, make it all fit, go the way I want. And I realized like, I don't actually know all the answers. I'm trained in my medical career to think I know the answers and to make what I think is the most educated guess, but there's a lot of gray areas in medicine. So, and so we do the best we can, and it can be very frustrating when things don't go, the outcome isn't what we expect. So I think what I'm learning as I'm tapping through this time is that just like I let go then, I have to let go now, and it's going to feel so much better to do that. And also, a week and a half ago, I'm trying to remember when I canceled. I was supposed to be in Peru right now. I was supposed to be on a really awesome energy healing retreat that was going to be like kind of way out of my comfort zone. So exciting, and out, going to Peru, which I've never been before. I spent a ton of money on it. I was super excited about it. And I had to come to my own path, my own realization to decide not to go on the trip. The trip has subsequently gotten canceled because because the borders closed. So they actually did cancel the whole retreat. But I pulled out before they canceled it because for me, it didn't feel right. And so I'm just realizing now, everybody's coming to things on their own on their own. Every single day for me last week, as I'm sure it was for you, was a whole new lifetime, a whole new mindset. There was a friend of mine, as a doctor, posted something on Facebook probably 3 weeks ago that was an article like, you're going to need to get your food delivered. You're going to need to wipe down all your food boxes when they come in, before you open them. Get all these supplies, do these things. And I was like, great, I hear you, but doesn't that seem a little, I'm making fun of my own response. I'm like, doesn't that seem a little like Armageddon, like over the top, overreactive, like panic mode? Well, guess what? That's pretty much like all that this person had written. I don't remember who it was. I know who my friend was, but all the article they posted, it's pretty much true. I wasn't ready to hear it. So I am a couple weeks ahead of these people right now who are hanging out in Piedmont Park sharing snacks. But in a day or in 2 days or in a week or in 2 weeks, they will be there too, and they'll get there. So, and 2 days before I canceled my trip, my parents were like, please, please, please don't go to Peru. They're going to cancel. And I was like, I hear you. There is nothing right now that is suggesting that the borders are going to be closed. I will make the decision. 2 days later, I was like, okay, I have this instinct right now. Like, I'm having some realizations that it's not going to be the right thing for me to go. Not about border closings, but for other stuff. And I felt pretty comfortable with my decision, and I made that. So I'm feeling like pretty damn magnanimous right now. I don't know how you guys are feeling. Any comments from the people who are watching right now live, but I'm going to tap in some positivity because I feel like those people are going to get there, and it's not my job to police the world. So I'm at like a 0 or a 1 right now with my frustration and powerlessness. So I sometimes wish that I could control everybody. And I feel like when I'm doing what's right, that I want to share that with people so that they do the same thing. But I don't have to force people to do what they're not ready to do. I am not the government. I am not anybody's mommy. And I am responsible for myself. And instinctively, I feel like I am doing what is right for myself and what is right for society. And that's all I got. I can help people manage their frustrations and their emotions through these tapping sessions. I can set examples or an example. But fighting negative with negative isn't really going to get me anywhere. Screaming and shouting and frustration is helping nobody. I remember how I felt when my mom called me 2 weeks ago to try to convince me to cancel my trip. I did not want to hear it. I didn't agree at the time with her reasoning, but I also did not want to hear it. So I'm going to give myself some grace. And I'm going to give the people around me some grace to come to their own conclusions and hopefully do what is right for our community, because none of us actually know what to do. All right, I'm going to pause now. Take another deep breath. I feel good. I feel super good. I don't know, people watching, if you guys have any comments, if you want to keep on with your voices, or if you want to leave some comments, and I will read them out loud for you. But I'm going to otherwise end this session. Thanks for traveling along with me as I tap on myself. That was kind of fun. I've been pretty busy tapping with other people, and I haven't really I've had the chance to tap by myself, but there's a little part of me that's like, I want to be mad right now. So then I'll like stay mad. So anyway, this was really good and helpful for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You ladies enjoyed it. Till tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern time, I will be back. I hope you can join. Hopefully we'll have some folks that I can tap with one-on-one, but I will use this as my personal tapping session as long as people show up. So, just remember, if you're watching these sessions after the fact and you're not feeling it, It might not be the right emotion for you. Don't repeat things that don't resonate for you, and keep your own thoughts in the back of your head and repeat out loud whatever it is that you're feeling. Um, Even just identifying the correct emotion is fine. And often the emotions will get stronger before they calm down. So last week, I think the Thursday and Friday sessions, we had people who were just like, it was like not budging. And then all of a sudden it budged and it released. So you might need 4 or 5 cycles of tapping through negativity, whatever negative feelings you're feeling, to for you to get some relief. So sometimes when you start tapping, it doesn't go away right away. It'll get stronger. So remember that, and be kind to yourself. Please wash your hands before and after tapping. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much.